Dear viewers, wherever you are, hello and welcome to this new episode of your program, Out of the Box. When we look for the definition of the word culture in different sociology sites or different sociology books, we can find a plethora of definitions. Some of these definitions say that culture consists of 8 elements, sometimes 7, sometimes 5, sometimes 3. And although there are differences between the elements of culture in different books and sources of sociology, yet they all agree upon one element, which is belief or religion. The reason that religion is always a common denominator and is always a common element is that religion greatly affects many other elements of cultures, such as norms, values, even food, etc. When we are talking about a society where there is an overwhelming dominant culture and religion, problems are not that obvious. But our question today, what is the role of religion and belief in a multicultural society like Canada or any other adoptive immigrant country, where there's a great variety of beliefs and thereby cultures? Will religion and faith be a building block? Will it be a cornerstone? Or will it be a stumbling block and an impediment in the way of building a healthy multicultural society? To shed more light on this, I'm really delighted to be accompanied by Frishta Karimi, who is a human rights activist with extensive experience with new immigrants. Frishta, hello and welcome to the program. It's a real pleasure having you with me today.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mohammed, for inviting me for this interesting and important discussion.
Thank you very much for being here. And to start off, to delve deeper into the crypts of this subject, to what extent can religion be a catalyst for building a multicultural society? And to what extent can it be an obstacle? Without getting into details, but maybe on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 has no effect at all. 10 has a great effect. To what extent do you think it has an effect on building or demolishing a flourishing multicultural society?
It's a great and at the same time a complex question, But I myself, I believe it depends on different people. But coming to the countries such as Canada with different cultures, with the different religions, it could be different again also. It could be both an obstacle and it could be also a supporter or a catalyst for for a multicultural society. So when I was talking about an obstacle, because with different religion and different beliefs, if we are living in a one society, so sometimes not knowing each other's religion, we might be disrespecting each other. So that could be an obstacle that we don't, adapt each other's culture. We don't adapt each other's religion, and we are not able to live in the same society together. So that could be an obstacle for those who are coming newly. It will be difficult for them to settle down easily in a society and with the diverse cultures and communities. So I look at this more as an obstacle in a diverse country and with diverse communities, but then looking at as most as a catalyst, especially for those who are coming here with at the very early ages, because when they are growing up here, they go to the school, they work with their friends and all that. That will be more an obstacle for them. That's what I believe.
We'll definitely talk more about this, but in your opinion, again, is it religion per se? Is it religion really itself? The source of formulating someone's social perspective, or is it culture by and large? So would you see that people from similar religions but different cultural backgrounds, would they have a similar social perspective? Or is it two people from the same culture with different religions would have the same social perspective? Which one has a stronger effect?
Uh, Again, it depends on the where we are living. So if we are living in a country where we are with the same religion, of course, with the different, schools of under one religion, that will be a
Yeah.
bit different for them. But if we are living in a country with different cultures and different religion, that's different. So coming to the first country where we would, with the example that where we have one religion, so it will be mostly, yes, it will be mostly uh, one of them will be playing a most important role, which is in some countries it's religion. It plays the most important role for, and that's built on their values. But for it's mixed also, for even for those countries, it's a mix of culture and religion. Sometimes they are misunderstood that they have their cultural values, but they think it's their religion, which is not their religion. That's their culture. It's coming to them and it was conveyed to them by their like it's like a inheritance to them, and so
Mm.
it was coming from their great fathers and in their families, but they think it's a religion. But that's not part of the religion, it's a culture, so it's mixed. But in a country such as Canada, we are living in a not only multiple religions, it's also multicultures. So
Mhm.
it's very difficult to say that either culture or religion is playing the role in that. So I believe it's mostly that personal thinking, their personal values that they're building on. Some people decide to build it on their based on the culture, but some people think it's based on their religion. But some people even doesn't believe on some of the even their religions. They have their own values. They have their own thoughts. So, but it's mostly culture and religion mixed.
And you've dealt with a lot of immigrants from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different stages in their immigration. You've dealt with many workshops and whatnot. Um, if we're talking about a pattern or different patterns here, would you say that there is more similarity in the patterns between people from the same culture or from the same religion? Or is this whole notion wrong altogether?
No, I think if they are from the same culture, yes, there's a more, the same pattern, the same, values, the same rules. But religion is because people have in different countries, different cultures, they have different interpretation of religion. So even within one country, you would see, like the religions, they have different interpretation of that. And then within the religion, we have different schools and scholars, so they have their own interpretation. So that's, yeah, like if they're from one culture, they will have the same patterns, same values, than if they're from the same religion.
Now, you pointed that there are different interpretations of religion, so two people can read the same religious text and they can interpret it in many different ways.
Yeah.
Now, as somebody from an Afghani background, now Afghanistan, like other parts of the world, countries that were troubled with maybe political or conflicts and face a lot of atrocities of war and whatnot. Uh, Afghanistan underwent a great change, a major change in everything. If we compare Afghanistan in the 1960s or 70s compared to today, they might seem like two completely different countries and cultures. Um, Now, please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you think the question itself might not be well formulated. Um, but do you think that one Afghanistan was more Islamic than another? Was one Afghanistan not Muslim at all, another one is Islamic? Or what is the difference? Why do we see this huge difference in terms of, like women's rights, women's freedom, freedom of expression, costumes, everything?
I was just reflecting to your previous questions that unfortunately, in some of the countries, especially countries who are under, they're in war or they are going through that situation. So religion is misused, and religion is misused by, uh, by politicians. So that could be an excuse for them. The religion is an excuse for them. So neither in 1917 nor now, they were like all the time. Afghanistan was an Islamic country. We did. The public was Muslims. We did have mosques, so everybody had the Islamic religion. So it was always an Islamic country. It was never. It has been a non-Islamic country. It was always a Muslim country. So, but it was the governments, the politicians were playing differently. They were dealing with the countries, governing the country differently in 1970s or 60s or now. So that's what I think. It's not even dealing with religion. Like let's talking about today, what's happening in Afghanistan, depriving women from education, depriving women going to work, depriving women going outside, to travel without their mahram, their close family members. It's none of them are, is prohibited in Islam. Education is not prohibited in Islam for women. Working for women is not prohibited in Islam because one of the wife of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, she was the leader and the commander of a big group. She was taking one of his other wives. She was a businesswoman. So it means that it's women are allowed to work. Women are, like the first um, the verse of the Holy Quran, which was, that was asked by the Prophet Muhammad was he was asked to read. So this is, Iqra. So he was asked to read, and it means that knowledge, education is a right equally for both men and women. So it's not only for man or only for women. So what is going on now and today in Afghanistan? I don't think it has anything to do with the religion. It's mostly those political decisions made by some leaders that they are taking it and they have the excuse that it's related to religion. So that's like is how they deal with the country, but because Afghanistan is very sensitive towards the people, are very sensitive towards their religion. So that's why they know that what is the weak point of the people. So when it comes to the religion, they would accept that. But not now because people are well aware of their rights. Women are well aware of their rights. The society is aware of that. That no, not anymore. It's not religion. They know that it's some of the bad cultures, unfortunately, which is going on and on and on from decades. So that's and with the political uh, games and the political management, all that is they are putting it all on the religion.
Yeah, which is extremely unfortunate, really, but we see it much too often. And now, in a country like Canada here, and you meet a lot of new immigrants, and many of those new immigrants bring little children with them. But sooner or later, these children will grow up and they'll become adults. They have their own perspective of life and so on. To what extent can religion play a role in creating a major gap between first and second generation immigrants?
Again, it's so it does, yeah. Religion, there will be a, in generally speaking, there will be a big gap between the first and second generation immigrants. But also it depends on families. I have seen families that they are, that they are more religious than if they were back in their own country. in Islamic countries, because some of the families, they are scared that their children might forget about the religion, so they put more restrictions, which I'm against that. I don't like it, because you would see sometimes very little girls the age of 3, which even religion is not obliged to wear scarf for a little girl at the age of 3. So, but here you would see at the age of 3 and 4, the girl, she is wearing a scarf. So this means that they are putting more restrictions so that they raise their children more religious here. But
Is it like a defense
sometimes,
mechanism? You see it like a defense mechanism? Is it like they're holding a shield maybe against the thorn
yes,
of culture?
yeah, they do. But I believe that putting more, limiting their rights and putting more restrictions, well, once they are grown up, they know what to do, and they make up their mind. They might say no to that, which we cannot even stop them. So it's good. I believe in that. We have to teach them what's right, what's wrong, because religion is also not, about restrictions. Religion, is as a Muslim, my religion is talking about peace, about respect, about like sharing, and care about each other, work with each other, help each other, support each other. So this is all, I think, is talking about humanity. So we have to teach them all that, not putting them those restrictions, which will not even help them with humanity, because it doesn't. Sometimes for those kids, putting the restrictions at the very early ages, it doesn't make sense for them.
Mm.
So if it doesn't make sense, then we have to start educating them from the point that it makes sense for them. So that will help, to keep the religion and also keep them integrate into the society here. Otherwise, they will be split. They will not be either integrate into the society nor in the, following their religion. So that's the reason. Sometimes also there's a big gap between that, so because families, they are sometimes putting too much restrictions and limiting their kids from so many other, events, entertainments, and all that. So again, excusing the religion. But if we are living in a society with multicultures, multi-religions, in a country which is not in a, the government is not an, either not it's not a religion government, because we do have, like in Afghanistan, it's completely, they call them an Islamic government, but here it's not, which
It's a
we keep the
secular government.
government,
Secular.
yeah, and it keeps the politician separate with the religion. At some point, yes, it's good, because sometimes there are things which are in religion which are more personal. It depends on your individuals. So it has nothing to do with the governing, or with the government, or politics. So we have to like consider different things when we are living in a multicultural, multi-religion country. We have to not only consider culture or religion. We have to look around, and we have to consider so many things around us.
Absolutely. Now, last but really not least is this question here. So you talked about religious societies or theocracies, countries that are ruled by a religious group, and then versus secular countries where there's separation between religion and state. Um, Now here comes the question that is asked by many people. Is there any possibility of having a secular society and at the same time preserving religion? Because if we look at international statistics, we see that the number of non-religious people in a society is directly proportional to the extent of democracy and freedom in these societies.
Mm.
Most societies that are defined as democratic and liberal and advanced around the world, people will not define themselves only as secular, like separating religion from public or professional life. No, they would define themselves as irreligious, agnostic, or as atheists. Um, is there some kind of connection here? Is this just a coincidence? Is religion against um, cultural integration? Is it against multiculturalism? What can you say to these statistics?
Uh, no, that's, and my personal point of view, it's no, religion is not it's not against progress, against development, as I was talking about education. But it's us human, how we interpret that, how we are misusing it. Like in Afghanistan, for their own political wealth and for their own political benefits, they're misusing religion. So that unfortunately, that's how once it's misused in one country, and it gives a very bad picture of religion to other countries. So that's how it spread that news around the world that it's because of the religion. So it's up to those who believes in their religion. It's up to them, the scholars, that they have to give the right interpretation and awareness about the religion. So it's not about the religion, because religion, I don't know much about any other religion, but speaking to my own religion, Islam, as I was saying, that it talks all about peace. It talks about respect, humanity, supporting each other. So if just giving an example of what like in religion is that every wealthy person has to give zakat. So it's a portion of their money or their wealth
Need
has
to
to
give
go,
alms. They need to give
yeah,
alms to the poor.
to poor people, which is the same, the idea like tax, paying your taxes.
Mhm.
So people, because the government is, I think it's religion is giving you the freedom, is not forcing you to pay it. It gives you the freedom and allow you to pay it on a voluntarily base. But tax, if you don't pay, there will be a penalty for that.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
because there's a penalty, they pay the tax. But because there's right now in this world, there's no penalty for that, so they don't pay that. Otherwise, if they pay their zakat, so that will help so many people. We will not have poor in this world anymore. So this is they are skipping all those good things about religion, but they're showing their own ideas. They're implementing their own ideas. They're in the name of religion. So this is, but at the other side of the world, like in Canada and Europe, when they're watching news, when they're looking at the news, and when they see all those violence on a TV. So of course, this will give them this image, a bad image about religion.
Mhm.
But it's again, it's mostly dealt more politically than looking at it as a school itself, as an idea, and a great idea, as a ruling, as a justice.
I totally see what you're saying here. And just at the end here, if I'm a brand new immigrant coming to Canada and I really believe in my religion, be it A, B, C, or D, and I have children with me, what would be your advice to me? If you can give me a prescription, like just bullet points, what would you tell me?
So I would tell them that they need to, stay with their religion, their culture, the good part of their culture and religion, but they have to here in they are not living in one with one society or one religion. It's a multicultural, multi-religion society. So they have to pay attention and pay respect to all other religions, and they shouldn't try to change others to their own ways, to their own culture, to their own religion. It doesn't work here. It's different. Like if you were back in our own countries, so sometimes people would try to change others, their habits, their attitudes. They will speak with them about the religion, but here that's not going to happen. We are not here to do that, but it's we are here to live in a society in peace with all other religion, with human,
Mhm.
not even culture and religion. We are living here with human. We are all human. So we have to use this sense of our humanity, and that's, I think, it will give us more peace, and it will let us to settle down easily.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much, Frishta Karimi, for being with me today. It was a real pleasure. Hoping that we can meet again for more fruitful discussions. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you.
And dear viewers, if we were to wrap up here, we all know Newton's law that says for every action, there's a reaction equal in magnitude, but opposite in direction. So the more you exert pressure on your child and try to spoon feed them something without speaking to them, without conviction, without speaking to their mind, an explosion will happen. And the explosion will be exactly as strong as the pressure that was exerted on them when they were children. So we need to reason with them. We need to talk to them. And again, moderation is the name of the game, really. Because, you know, in the planets that we're living on here, we see night and day. When there's fall, there is spring. When there's winter, there is summer. So you cannot have a monochrome, one color. Nobody likes one color. Nobody likes a monotone. So if my favorite color is green, for example, I would not like to see a green river. My favorite color is blue. I would not like to see a blue tree. We love the rainbow because of the variety in colors there. What side by side. Again, we don't like to listen to one melody. And so variety actually is what enriches the planet, what enriches societies. And we have tried bigotry. We've tried stereotyping, and we've tried creating ethnic silos throughout history. We gain nothing but atrocities, bloodshed, ethnic cleansing, ethnocide, genocide, since the dawn of history until today. Not one single day without a crime, just because of differences. So I think it's about time that we really earn, and here I'm really stressing on the word earn, our name as humans. And, even sciences like, philosophy, like psychology, like sociology, and so on, these are called humanities. Because aggression, bloodshed, and so on, this is from our reptilian brain, from our lower brain. Care for the family and whatnot, again, this is from our limbic brain, from our mammalian brain. But if we really exalt ourselves and we think that we're the higher beings, it's about time that we use our human brain, the extra part we have in our brain, and it's to see different perspectives. This is what makes us excel as humans. Without variety, without different perspectives, there is no nature, there is no life. Dear viewers, until we meet again, I hope you have a very pleasant time. Thank you very much for watching.